Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World. And in today's video, as you guys can see from the footage that is going on right now, we are taking another stab at the Tempered Devil Joe. Now, I've killed Tempered Devil Joe quite a few times with quite a few different builds, but the most effective build by far has been the Heartbreaker build, which for those of you that don't know, you can look at the top right hand corner of the video. Hopefully I'll remind myself to actually put this as a card annotation that you guys can click through and you can go check out the Heartbreaker set. Now, it does involve a gun lance, so you are going to need a little bit of experience with the gun lance in order to take the most out of that set, but it is an extremely solid set because it brings health regeneration from the DEVILJHO'S set. It also brings the health regeneration augmentation and medicine jewels. Basically, you're constantly regenerating and stealing health from Devil Joe, which is going to be what basically keeps you alive throughout this pretty challenging fight. Now, I've been wanting to do another build that would also be pretty solid for taking out the Tempered Devil Joe. You guys have seen me beat the crap out of him with a sword and shield as well. Although that build I would not consider to be super easy because, you know, tackling him with a very short reach weapon is going to be something that is not particularly the easiest thing. However, something that has really surprised me was when I did the Facebuster build, which for those of you that don't know, once again, if you look to the top right hand side, I'm going to try to put an annotation card in there linking to that particular video so that you guys can go check that out if you're curious. Now, the Facebuster build was all about wide shelling in your target's face, and I was expecting it to be somewhat effective. But I was extremely surprised when the first time that I used it to take on, you know, I think it was a Teostra or something, and I just like destroyed that Teostra in under 5 minutes. I was like, wait, what? What the hell just happened here? I think it was a regular Teostra the first time I did it. But it's like I was really surprised by how effective the shelling was at just like just spam shells, just like completely destroy your target by spamming shells. Don't even worry about combos or anything particularly complicated, just like Wyvern's Fire whenever you get your opening, and other than that, just spam shell after shell after shell. And that is essentially what we are doing with this Devil Joe right here. Now, you guys can clearly see from this video that I still haven't really adapted myself to the shell-only playstyle, because you will see a lot of times I forget, ooh, I'm out of shells, I gotta reload. So you're going to see that quite often throughout the video. But one of the reasons why that happens is also because I'm focusing a lot more on my survivability than I am on just dishing out damage. Because, you know, regular monsters, you'll be able to flinch them much more often, you'll be able to break parts much more often, and create a lot more openings for yourself if you're using the Facebuster build. Now, on Tempered Devil Joe, those openings are much less and much further in between, so it is going to be a lot more challenging. However, I still feel that this build, I mean, I think Heartbreaker is still better because you get to be a little bit more aggressive. I think that the Facebuster is a little bit more reliable because you are never going to be flinching because you have earplugs. You are never going to be flinching from being attacked because you actually have guard in your skill set. And all of those things put together made for this build to be incredibly powerful, at least in my opinion. Now, one of the main criticisms that I've seen being thrown at this build is that I do not use a capacity boost jewel. Now, number one, I do not have a capacity boost jewel. Number two, I actually don't like the rotation in that specific combo. Because basically what you're supposed to be doing if you have the capacity jewel is you do shell, shell, poke, shell, reload. And in my opinion, like, sure, it might work for some monsters, but there's a lot of monsters where it's not going to work because the poking is going to, it might bounce off. And also we don't have white sharpness on this particular gun lance. And we only really have blue sharpness, and some of the times we might even be on green sharpness, because if you're just shelling, then going from blue to green is not really going to make any difference if you have wide shelling level 4. It doesn't make any difference in terms of damage at all. So it's not really a concern for me. Usually, I can pretty much shell a monster into oblivion like for 2 or maybe even 3 zones before I actually need to sharpen my gun lance, which is good. Now, again, the problem is if you're hitting a monster that's got a little bit thicker skin, like maybe a pink Rathian's going to have a little bit thicker armor, and Azure Rathalos, something along that nature, or if you really want to go extreme, you even have the Lavazioth, like forget about piercing the Lavazioth once he hardens, just completely forget about that, or the Nergigante when he's got black horns, like that stuff is going to mess up with your combo, your rotation, which is shell, shell, poke, and if you go shell, shell, blank, and you just like bounce off, that's going to be a problem. Whereas the way that I do it, which is shell, shell, reload, it just feels better to me. Now, I'm not saying that the other way is not good. Don't get me wrong. Like, shell, shell, poke, shell is perfectly viable. It might even dish out more damage over long periods of time, but my personal preference goes to shell, shell, reload, and then eventually I'll do pokes when I need to reapproach the monster, depending on which part of the monster I'm hitting, because like if I need to reapproach a Lavazioth, I'm not even going to bother with a poke. I'm just going to dodge forward and then actually just repeat the shelling process. So I just wanted to show you guys just how viable this build is, because I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, this Facebuster build is kind of garbage, and I was like, really? Like, I'm taking on friggin' Tempered Devil Joe, and I know it's not an impressive time. It's not going to be as impressive as the people that just grab a friggin' heavy bowgun with cluster bombs and just repeatedly trap him and bomb him and Wyvern's fire and do all of these things, which is, you know, it takes a lot of patience to actually do the fight like that, to be completely honest, but it's not really my playstyle. My playstyle is more about actually going up against the monster and just beating the crap out of it. And I have to say, Facebuster is actually extremely viable in my opinion. Not only extremely viable, I would actually rate it as one of my best and most efficient builds. So if you've been discouraged of trying this particular build out, like if you have this gun lance, that's the one requirement. You need to have one gun lance that you got from the Kulve Taroth raid, whether it's this one with the blast or it's the one that's got water, or even if it's the rarity 6 version of this one, so long as it's got wide shelling level 4, the Facebuster build works. And it is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful builds that I have done so far. Now, I understand that essentially I've done 2 builds, and both of those builds for Tempered Devil Joe are gun lance builds. But hey, you guys remember when I asked you which weapon would you like me to main? Which weapon did you guys pick? You guys picked the gun lance, and I've been maining the gun lance, and I've been having a literal blast doing it, pun intended. However, I'm also curious, like if there was one weapon that you guys would like me to do a build in order to deal with Tempered Devil Joe, what weapon would that be? I'm very curious about that. I will check the comment section. Make sure to upvote comments so that I'll be checking it out and seeing what people are saying the most. Hopefully people won't go after light bowgun, because good God, that's not easy. It is not easy, and I'm still very noobish when it comes to bowguns, okay? I'm still extremely noobish with the bowguns, but I did have a lot of fun with bowguns when it came to Kulve Taroth, because I actually started playing elemental light bowgun, and that is a really fun play style, I gotta tell you guys. But anyways, this hunt still took a lot longer than my best Tempered Devil Joe time. I think my best Tempered Devil Joe time is 11 minutes, if I remember correctly. I've done it in 13 minutes with this Facebuster build, but I also used all of the traps that you have in the Elder's Recess. I actually have an easier time in the Ancient Forest, but I know that you can get them down faster with the Elder's Recess because of the traps that you have. It's just I don't always use those traps, and in this particular kill, I chose not to use them because I could have kind of like lured them away, but I was like, no, let's actually just do it proper and just spam shells on his face until he goes down. Anyways, I'll let you guys watch the rest of the of this particular fight. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, if you enjoy my videos, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so that you're always notified of everything that I do. I recently just did a video on God of War because I've actually finished the game, and that is so good. And I have an upcoming video soon talking about a game that I think that a lot of you guys should really check out if you haven't checked it out yet. You guys will see what that game is. Just remember, you have to actually hit the subscribe and click all. It's like I almost feel like I have to announce some of my videos in my Monster Hunter stuff, because otherwise you guys won't get it in your inbox. Anyway, thank you for watching. Once again, comments, feedback in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.